Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we'll be taking a look at the astrological energies from May 11th until May 18th as we have a dynamic Scorpio lunar eclipse occurring over this week, as well as the Sun conjunct the North Node in Taurus, Venus conjunct Chiron, and some bigger energy themes coming through. Now, we also have Jupiter now in Aries, officially at 0 degrees of Aries when I'm doing this podcast. And we also have Mercury retrograde in his home sign of Gemini. So very interesting energies this week. We will be talking about all of it and looking at how we are always beautifully supported during these energy shifts, changes, and big periods, because that is in fact what we're designed to experience. We are energetically designed to move through all these different phases, all these different energies, as they each reveal more of our own energy field. And I'm getting the example right now of your aura, of a very beautiful aura, but it has so many different angles and facets to it, a bit like a diamond, a bit like looking through a kaleidoscope of energies that is always shifting, growing, and changing. And it feels like what we are gifted with during these bigger energy cycles are reminders of our own strength, our own ability to trust ourselves, to listen to ourselves, to be in touch with a deeper truth, as well as a shining light of what is important to you right now. Because when we talk about astrology and all the energies, it's essentially the weather. It's the weather that is passing through. It's how the energies can shift and change in a day, not to mention throughout the seasons. But this is where we see everything we're capable of as we move through and experience more of our own energies in this wide open playground of weather, of changes, and of opportunities for growth. And in fact, that's one way you could approach this particular week, as well as the energies of this year, is that you could continually ask yourself, how am I growing through this? How am I trusting myself? How am I believing in the very best that is possible for me? And even though those thoughts can be fleeting at times, and we have perhaps other emotions that come in, other experiences, other energies that we feel and have to move through, if you can return to some of these bigger overarching questions and principles, it's going to keep you on track with yourself, with your own path, with what's best for you, with what is true for you, and what you are here to experience in this lifetime. So eclipse season is always very big and powerful, but I feel like it gives us opportunities to go higher, to see into the bigger picture of our lives, of what we're ready to shift and change, because so often we can be at ground level, going through our days, going through our routines, our patterns, and it's not until we have to rise up to that higher perspective that we can see, what's it all about? How am I spending my time? Is this really true for me? Does this really still speak to me and support me? Is this still what I want? So these eclipses can lift us up. And that is, in fact, one of the themes this week, where we have the Sun in Taurus making a conjunction to the North Node in Taurus. It will be exact May 12th and 13th, occurring at 22 degrees of Taurus. And when the Sun is conjunct that North Node, it shines a light. It brings energy, momentum, and warmth to those North Node values of Taurus that are asking you to check in with the quality of your life, to check in with what is your immediate environment, what around you is beautifully resonating with you, what is showing you that this is what you need and this is what you want. Because that sun, it provides a giant spotlight on what we can focus on and grow, especially in Taurus, the first earth sign that is about what is planted and rooted into the earth, and then what grows in a healthy way. How something can flourish and blossom when it's taken care of, when it's basic needs are being met. And you think about how a flower needs good soil and it needs water and it needs the sunshine and a healthy environment with no contaminants. And that's how it can really blossom into the truth of its fullest expression, to be a bright, beautiful flower. And so we can take inventory and take stock right now with the sun conjunct the North Node to tune in to what you need right now and what that sun is revealing. Because the sun is very vibrant. Sometimes that sun can be blinding, where you could see something shining so brightly and you're tuning into it, you're sensing it, you're feeling it because it's resonating with you. And that is a beautiful sign that it's speaking to you. So there could be something in your life and in your world, even in your energy right now, that the universe is directing you to because of how it's resonating with you. Maybe how it feels healthy and strong. Maybe how it feels loving and kind. And this can simply be energy that you give to yourself, that you're understanding, I need to move through my world with greater self-acceptance, a deeper understanding of how valuable I am, of how worthy I am. There's a very strong focus on these Taurus themes that are meant to ground us in our physical body, ground us in our lives, and stabilize our energies so that we can handle the big weather of our world, the big weather of energies that move all around us. That Taurus energy will stabilize you. So over this next week, there could be opportunities and messages coming through around what that is for you, and that it's an area of potential abundance, manifestation, blessings, growth, very beautiful things, because we're tuning into the higher expressions of Taurus, which wants to experience a beautiful world, a harmonious daily life, a sense of peacefulness, and even tapping into the best of life, the best of your immediate environment. So I feel like part of what we're understanding is where we're ready to upgrade, where we want better quality, where we want to invest or put energy towards something that really speaks to us and reinforces what we love, what we're worthy of, what matters to us. And this is very personal, because the Taurus energy is about your sense of self. So it is about coming back to what you need, what you want, and truly putting energy around that supports you. And again, it supports your aura. It can certainly connect to both the sacral chakra and the root chakra. I'm feeling like those energies are being beautifully renovated right now. It's like there's this replenishment, renovation, rejuvenation in our sense of self, because the universe wants us to walk with greater strength and belief in what you know is true for you. And this is how we feel energy shifts within us, where you could just feel something has changed in you. Perhaps even as this eclipse season unfolds, there's things that are falling away, or you're feeling that internal energetic evolution within yourself around what no longer matters, or it used to resonate with you and now you're kind of meh, not so much into it. Or there could be things that are revealing more about your life purpose, what you want to focus on, develop, and create, what gives you life, what helps you open up and blossom and bloom. And again, these are the beautiful strengths of Taurus energies. And it feels like a higher quality of energy is coming through. I'm feeling this certainly from the sun, but I'm feeling this as energy that's just speaking to us around, we've been through so much in recent years that maybe you've really come to understand what truly matters to you, why you have certain things in your life or in your world, and perhaps what it means to live a good life, to appreciate the best in life, to go for what is quality for you, even as simple as making better food choices or wanting to experience new forms of creativity or artistic expression, new music, new decor, anything that brings life to your daily experience, into your world, is a beautiful way to feel naturally energized by what's around you. And I feel like this is important right now. And on the other side of this, which we're going to talk about, is the Scorpio Lunar Eclipse, which is revealing what is no longer a truth for you. But before I go into that, I want to finish talking about the Sun in Taurus journey this week especially, because once the Sun crosses over that North Node, it moves into another side of your astrology chart where there hasn't been a lot of energy. There hasn't been a lot happening on the other side of the North Node. In fact, we've had all this energy focus in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, now Aries, and Taurus, which means the full other side of the astrological wheel has been quite empty. And you could feel that your life has been lopsided, that it hasn't been as balanced as you like, that you've had to put a lot of energy or effort into one part of your world or into certain areas of your life without feeling like you have another balancing point. There's been an intensity here in the energies. And so as the Sun moves across the North Node, it crosses over and opens up some new energies that we haven't tapped into yet. And now the Sun is going to stay moving forward on that side of the astrological wheel and is starting to bring our attention to more parts of our lives and of our energies that we haven't had as much focus on. I also feel like what we're moving through during this eclipse period is a lot of karma is clearing out. A lot of energies are ending. And now the universe is opening up new directions, new experiences, new expressions of energies, because now we have room and space for those energies to come in. Now, as the Sun continues through the third decan of Taurus, it is going to have a dynamic energy period May 15th and May 16th. Now, before the Scorpio lunar eclipse occurs, the Sun will square Saturn in Aquarius and then sextile Neptune in Pisces, all happening at 25 degrees. So 25 degrees is a hot spot of energy over this week, especially in the fixed signs. The fixed signs being Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. That 25 degree point is being powerfully activated. And what we're seeing is what is no longer in resonance. Now, that Sun in Taurus squares Saturn, which we're going to talk about, but it also is sextiling Neptune and Pisces. And Neptune and Pisces is actually the more powerful energy, but it can feel a little bit softer in a way because Neptune and Pisces is 5D. It's energetics. It's your higher self. It's the higher path. It's what you're feeling intuitively. And that Saturn in Aquarius is the 3D, is your immediate environment, your real world. And that energy can feel certainly more strong and more in your face. But what I'm seeing here is that as the Sun crosses over the North Node, shines a light on something perhaps that was lacking or missing, shines a light on something that you're ready to further integrate, develop, embrace. Then it sextiles this Neptune, and you could feel that there are going to be beautiful energies supporting you. You could feel a sense of trust. And I feel like that's a strong theme over this next week, is that we're rising out of some experiences we've been in, some places we've been, whether those have been heavy, emotionally intense, or burdensome, challenges, etc. Now there's an energy rising up that's going to show you that higher viewpoint of what hasn't been present, what has been perhaps a void or maybe an emptiness. And then that sextile to Neptune in Pisces, I feel it as something about faith in a process, trusting what's coming together behind the scenes, believing in something even though you can't see it. And it feels like a beautiful beacon of light. It feels like there's something, I'm going to say, strangely reassuring. Like it seems really odd if you were to go into this internal conversation between what is happening in your reality and in your real world versus what you're feeling and sensing in the higher realms. And what I'm feeling is that we've been doing so much work, so much intense clearing and shifting and growth. We've really been going through it for years because we've been unraveling, deconditioning, becoming more conscious, becoming more energetically aware, and certainly more energetically sensitive. And we've been letting go of so many things, and they've been big lessons, hard lessons, tough periods. I mean, this has been the big storms, right? And just feeling like you're always in the grinder, or something's always pressuring or requiring more in terms of your growth, of letting go. I mean, we've just had a lot here, but that's all part of the evolution of consciousness, where we continue to spiral up to higher perspectives. But in order to do that, we have to lighten the load. You have to throw the luggage out of the plane, get rid of the heavy rocks in the boat, all this stuff we've had in our lives that have brought about ultimately beautiful lessons, wisdom, understanding, higher self-awareness, an understanding of your energy even more. And then there's been this acceleration of energy coming in to move us forward. And that's why we've also had so many big changes in our lives, so many things that you could sense, I'm not going back to that. I would never do that again. I don't want that again. All of that is essentially a celebration of your own growth and a celebration of consciousness around your own energy. And this is also part of crossing that bridge from 3D consciousness to 5D consciousness and beyond, where you're able to see things from an energetic viewpoint, and you can see why certain things have come about or why certain things have unfolded. And you can also see it, of course, from the soul's perspective, where there have been lifetimes that you've carried certain energies. There have been repeating karmic loops. There have been ongoing energies that you've worked with across multiple lifetimes, but this is the lifetime. This is the energy point where there are completions and things falling away. And that's just part of a bigger cycle that we've been moving through for a number of years, and we're going to continue to move through it for a number of years because of everything we're shifting and changing at a very deep level, a very deep place within us. And so I feel like this particular eclipse season and these energies that we are experiencing are showing us more of our power, our choices, and our light. And now we have new responsibilities. And I think that is a key word to this Scorpio lunar eclipse, where the sun and the moon are opposing each other. Moon is at 25 Scorpio, sun is at 25 Taurus, receiving an almost exact square from Saturn in Aquarius, which is technically at 24 degrees 56 minutes. So it's very much at that 25 degree point. This is a big eclipse about responsibility. Are you taking responsibility for your own energy, your own path, your own needs, your own values, what you want, what you're ready for, where you want to go next in your life? Or are you feeling really bogged down and heavy by responsibilities to others? Now, realistically speaking, we have responsibilities to other people, with other people, for other people. We are naturally social beings. We interact with multiple people, whether that is professionally, personally, family relationships, all the above and more. So we're innately connected to others. But this eclipse is bringing you into a deeper part of yourself. And that is the moon in Scorpio that is working with the south node in Scorpio. And it goes into the hidden layers. It asks you to go deeper and connect to what is true for you right now. Not what has been covered up, not what has been perhaps submerged or repressed. And even looking at the layers of other people that maybe have imposed something on you, almost like an infiltration, where sometimes that can submerge your own needs or submerge your own truth, where you're aware of what you're involved in and what you have to take care of. But there could be something around realizing this isn't even me anymore. This isn't where I feel empowered. This isn't my truth. This isn't something that I even want. And so there's bigger questions here, a higher awareness around your own responsibility to your own energy. Because Saturn in Aquarius, even though Aquarius can focus very much on groups, associations, the people we know, the things that we're involved in at a collective level, Aquarius is also about the individual spark, how you're different, how you're unique, how you're honoring that. And part of the Saturn in Aquarius journey is asking you to look at some things in your life, realistically take stock of what is you and what is not you. This is also where the energies of knowing your own design can be a beautiful gift. So for example, astrology, human design, numerology, any of these metaphysical studies and tools can open you up to more of your own specific energy, which is going to help guide you in what is true for you, what is naturally connected to your energy, and perhaps even reveal things we've taken on or ways we've been operating because of the energetic influence from others. Now, this Scorpio lunar eclipse is receiving beautiful support from Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces, and Mars in Pisces. So there's already something that you're feeling and sensing that is true for you, that is supporting your soul growth in this lifetime, that is kind of like this bigger overarching theme of what you want next or what you're ready for. And there's already something you're aware of that needs to change, that needs to shift. And here we have that Saturn square that is the intense pressure, and Saturn is the reality check. So it brings in how. How am I going to do this? How is this going to work? How am I going to have this conversation or say what I need to say to some people or do anything that essentially communicates, because Aquarius is an air sign, communicates what you need to say that is truthful, honest, clear, and respectful. And it's interesting because now what I'm feeling is that this could be a conversation you're having with yourself, where maybe it's not about other people at all, or maybe the first conversation is with yourself, where you're gaining clarity on something. And this could even be a beautiful way to work with Mercury retrograde. So Mercury just stationed retrograde May 10th at 4 degrees of Gemini. And so there is a review process here. And Mercury journeys back to 26 degrees of Taurus. So it's almost like that Mercury is going back and asking you to claim what is based on love for yourself, value, reflects your worthiness, also gives you some grounding and a sense of being more centered. Because when Mercury returns to Gemini, Gemini wants to move fast. It can have more to say, a lot of thoughts going on. Mercury in Gemini is about choices. It's about how active our minds can be and how we want to have many experiences and do a lot of things, and we enjoy a lot of stimuli. But I feel like this is coming back into the body, into a part of yourself that's already feeling and sensing a truth around what you want that could be quite private, quite internal. And that's part of the Taurus energy, where there can be a lot happening inside before it is spoken. And that would be the Gemini energy. So basically, there could be a bigger internal process occurring during this Mercury retrograde. And then when Mercury returns back to Gemini, it could be easier for the words to flow, to say what you need to say, because you had time to digest it, to sit with it, to really look at what it's about for you, and then make a decision and choice from that place. And I feel like that's part of what this overarching Scorpio lunar eclipse is revealing to you. It's showing you what you want, asking you to believe in it and to trust it, to give energy towards it, while also having to perhaps understand more about your own unique path or your own individual energy, and then also letting go and being complete with something because it's no longer a part of what you need or want now. And there could be some big decisions here. There could be some significant turning points. And in fact, I've already done for you a podcast on the Scorpio lunar eclipse about these serious turning points. And then I also have a video for you on YouTube that goes through the chart even more. So in both of those, I share more about these energies. But in this week's podcast, of course, I have to touch on it. But I want to let you know this energy is quite big. And it's bigger for you if you have planets or points at the fixed signs. We'll say between 22 to 29 degrees of the fixed signs. And I'm going back to 22 degrees because that's where the North Node is in Taurus. So 22 to 29 degrees of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, you are making some bigger choices and decisions here that are right on time. And if you can really own that and claim that, it helps with the transition. And then remember how we have support from Mars, Neptune, and Pluto that are working favorably with these changes. And that's where you could even feel a trust in yourself, and you could sense that something is being divinely guided, because both Pluto and Neptune are connected with the energies of our soul's growth, of our higher self, of those divine frequencies. And if you're struggling with something right now, because that would be very understandable, if there's an intensity, a hardship, challenges that are going through, one of the best things that one of my spiritual mentors told me 20 years ago that I've done over and over again is she says, this is when you get closer to God or spirit or the divine or whatever that means to you. But that's when you really dig into your own spiritual intentions and where you go for ongoing trust, faith, and support, because we need that. And that's certainly part of the spiritual journey is that, we have so much we navigate in this physical world. We have so much that we're experiencing and we're feeling, and things can get very big at times. But remember, that's usually the temporary weather just passing through, where even when there's days that are very dark and stormy, the storm passes, the sun rises again, the blue skies appear. And so where do you go when you need to be supported during these bigger cosmic energies? And if you can dig into your own spiritual path, your spiritual mastery, and allow that to be an energy that walks with you and guides you, it can help alleviate some of these temporary passing experiences. Because those energies of our soul and of our higher self, and certainly of God and the divine, those are timeless. Those are limitless energies. Those are ongoing connections that we can always access and go into that can help you feel that you're on the right path. I also feel like this is where we can go to tune into a peace frequency, because that can be buried and something we forget or ignored. And it is a part of our energy field. And it's certainly highlighted during the Sun in Taurus season, where we can stabilize ourselves in a peace frequency, where there can be a sense of safety, of calm, of trust, even of quietness. And this can be something you practice right before falling to sleep or right upon waking in the morning. This could even be something that you practice mentally. But it is important at times to go there to find that peace frequency, because then we're also more receptive to our intuitive messages. We're more receptive to the divine, to what is speaking to us, and to the answers coming through. So know that that is energy that travels with us, but we do have to move towards it. We do have to open up to it. And when we do, that's when we find that it's always been there and has always been waiting for us. So this eclipse energy can signal what is no longer correct for you or best for you. You could have some very big clearing outs in your life, some very big things shifting that you're really feeling complete with. And there's multiple phases to this process. So there's different places you could be at it where you already know, you're already aware of what you're ready to change and let go of. Or there could be things rising up that you're fighting against, because that Scorpio energy doesn't always want to let go. There can be a fear there, or many fears. There can be a sense of, no, I have to hold on to this because I don't know what comes next. I don't know the next chapter or the next step to take. And sometimes that Scorpio energy, it really locks in deep. It really requires a deeper understanding as well of what that fear is based in. Is that fear your own? Was it a fear or belief system that was taught to you or that you unconsciously absorbed, especially from a younger age? There could be something here too around the energy of your father or of a parental figure who is like a father because of that strong Saturn influence. And you could be assessing your life path, looking at what is true for you. Is this something that is truly mine? Is this something that comes from my parents, from my family lineage? Are there expectations that have been built into my life that aren't true for me anymore? Are there certain energies that have come into my energy that is not true for me anymore? Have I been taking on other people's stuff, other people's expectations of me? And does that still serve me? Does that even feel correct? Or now does it just feel heavy? And that could be something that you're seeing in a new way. And there can be struggles with this stuff. It isn't always clear at first. It does depend where you're at in your own process and what you're moving through, which is unique to each of us. So of course, I'm just throwing out some general understandings of the energy. Take what resonates and see what fits for you. But there is a pressure here to truly assess what is best for you going forward. And it could bring up some deeper understandings of what you have absorbed, what you've taken on, what you've been carrying, that you're realizing this isn't even what I want. This isn't even right for me anymore. This is something that I want to transform. And that is, of course, one of the beautiful gifts of Scorpio, is that ultimately the energy is meant to move forward in Scorpio. In fact, it moves into Sagittarius, which shows you the wisdom, what you were learning, what the bigger picture is. And that Scorpio energy will lift us up to see something in a higher light and to move forward with those next choices. So keep that in mind, that even though this Scorpio lunar eclipse could bring you down into something, it's also meant to release you and to clear it out. And also clear it out for good. There's something about a big change and a big shift here that could feel more permanent and more significant. Almost like it all has to go in whatever area of your life you're experiencing this 25 degrees of Scorpio, where there can be a significant changeover. In fact, it reminds me of way back in Scorpio season of 2021, there was the Scorpio new moon. And on the day of the new moon, it was a trash day here in Florida, so obviously they take out the trash. And I came home and I couldn't find the trash receptacle at all, the trash container. It wasn't windy. It didn't roll down the street. I'm like, where'd it go? And I realized the trash container fell into the garbage truck. So the garbage truck took the garbage and the garbage receptacle. All gone. There it is, out the door. That's similar to this energy, where you're going to see not only what needs to be changed temporarily, but what needs to shift for you at a bigger scale. Especially because this is at the end of Scorpio. It's at the third decan of Scorpio. So there really is a clearing out here in order for that rising energy of Sagittarius to come through when the moon moves into Sagittarius right after this eclipse. So I feel like there's something happening here that's rising up in our consciousness that could even be a surprise. You could be surprised by what you're realizing and what you're feeling. You could have a sense of, wow, I never thought I'd be done with that, or I never thought I would want to let that go. And that's how big this can be. there's an overhaul here. There's a deeper transformation. And that's because at a base level, the energy no longer fits with you. And you're also directing energy towards what you truly want and value that's probably very new, very different, maybe something you haven't experienced before. And so the energy that you're permanently releasing, you're throwing out the trash and the trash container because there's something new coming through that you're already connected to. And that's how I'm feeling it as well, is that there's already things that are taking shape, that are energetically growing, that are truer for you. But we have to have the energy for that. And so essentially the universe is setting us free from something that, again, maybe you didn't think it would ever end or it would go away, but there's something very much about the bigger picture of it all. And we don't see that bigger picture right away. There's still information that's going to come in. There's still things you don't know. There's still details and particulars that we're not aware of yet. And so we have to alleviate ourselves of having all the clear answers, but to know that that's part of this journey. That's part of this ongoing human experience. And of course, that's also the ongoing trust and faith. Now, if you do not have any planets or points between 22 and 29 degrees of the fixed signs, then you're still going to feel the eclipse energy. It just won't be as personal for you. It just won't be as much of a big energy, because eclipses are always bigger for us when they're working with our personal planets and anything in our charts that is significant. So even though we all feel it, it's bigger and more influential if you have planets or points that are feeling these energies. Now, also this week, we will see Venus conjunct Chiron at 14 degrees, and this happens on May 15th. Venus in Aries conjunct Chiron in Aries can show you where you're lacking confidence. Maybe you're not feeling like yourself. There could be something that comes up that shakes your confidence or has you questioning something. But ultimately, this energy is meant to help you soften to yourself, because that Chiron in Aries is working with our egos, working with our false egos, I should say, our false sense of self, bringing us into a softer, more humane part of our energies to allow ourselves to see that it's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to not expect too much of ourselves and to just know that you're still worthy of being loved. And so that Venus conjunct Chiron could also be something around the heart that maybe is feeling sensitive or vulnerable. But I feel like what we're learning, especially with Chiron and Aries, is how to be beautifully ourselves, even when we feel messy, even when we feel sensitive, even when we feel emotional, or like there's just a lot going on. And you can think, oh, do I share this with other people? Do I let them know this part of me? And the irony is that when so many of us are feeling this way or have things come up, it makes us more relatable. It is very much about how we can connect with others from this open, sensitive place, knowing that it's accepted, knowing that we can trust others, knowing that it's okay to show our scars and bruises and wounds, because we all have them. And I think this Chiron and Aries journey is helping us gain the courage to be more open, to be more vulnerable, to understand that that's a beautiful way to connect with others. We don't have to put up the shield or be too independent. And so the Chiron and Aries is also revealing where that Aries energy can go too far. So with Venus conjunct Chiron at 14 degrees on May 15th, just be aware that whatever is coming up or whatever is in your heart, if it's meant to come out, simply trust it and know that that could be a beautiful gift. That could also be something that enhances relationships. And even though Venus in Aries is quite independent, and can be off doing things her own way in her own world, there is something where she's still learning that we need people. We need people in our lives. We need people who understand us. We need good people, true people who are on the same page. We need others who appreciate and love the things that we enjoy. So this could be a chance to take stock of some parts of yourself that maybe you felt you had to keep only to yourself. But this could be a time when you're ready to share or open up in a new way. I also feel like this could be very healing. There could be something beautifully healing around this energy, and that would be one of the higher expressions of Venus conjunct Chiron. Something else to note this week is that we have a number of planets that have entered new territory in your chart, including this Chiron now at 15 degrees of Aries. We have Neptune in Pisces at a new degree point, now reaching 25 degrees. We have Uranus in Taurus at a new degree point of 15 degrees. And we now have Jupiter in Aries moving through this part of your chart for the first time in 12 years. So there's a lot of new energies that are opening up now. And this is where we are moving into new energetic territory, especially when you have the outer planets in new degree points. Now, Neptune moves very slow. And so when Neptune gets to a new degree point, that's important. Uranus, Chiron, and Jupiter, all at new degree points, and also Saturn. Saturn is at new degree points as well. So I feel like there's new things that are coming together and forming, obviously moving you forward, moving you into new places in your life, especially if those outer planets are working with your personal planets. And your personal planets are about your self-development, your personal needs, your personal expression, and they compose more of your individual identity. So anytime we have outer planets interacting with personal planets, we feel these energies more deeply and more intensely, and they are also making more of an impact on our consciousness and on our frequencies. Now, I did separate podcasts for you on Jupiter in Aries and the Mercury retrograde energy, so I'm not going to repeat those topics too much in this weekly program, but please listen to those podcast episodes for a deeper look at what is energetically occurring with both Jupiter and Mercury. I also want to note that on May 17th, Mars will be conjunct Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces. And this could be a day when you're really tired because that Mars in Pisces is feeling the influence of Neptune in Pisces and could feel like you need a break, you need more sleep, you need more downtime. And Mars being the physical body could be just really needing a good rest or a good break. So don't push yourself too much or have high expectations on May 17th because you could just be feeling like you need downtime. You want to stay in bed, or you just want to go where the energy goes. And sometimes this can also be a time when you have a lot of energy if something is locking into gear or you're feeling inspired. But usually that Pisces energy asks us to allow things to just be and to trust what you're feeling, especially physically. And keep in mind that Mars in Pisces is basically gearing up for his new start or the next beginning that is initiated when he enters Aries on May 24th. So if you don't have the energy or capacity for something just yet, that could certainly shift as we move into the second half of May. So to sum up this week, there are energetic turning points. There is karma clearing. There are things ending. There's something within you that's rising up and asking you, is this still true for me? Do I want this? Do I need this? Am I doing this for myself or am I doing this for others? And those could be questions to reflect on and to tune into so that you can truly honor more of what is calling to you right now, what is best for your energy, and what is in tune with your unique design. If you want to do a deeper dive into how the eclipses of 2022 are going to be working with you personally, please check out my 2022 Soul Growth Astrology program, where we look at these eclipse energies, talk about them in terms of the 4 different types of eclipses, and what it means when they're working with your chart. So please check that out below this podcast episode. I'll have a link and the coupon code, and you can dive into what is changing and shifting for you throughout this year, as well as into 2023, because these eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio will go into next year. I want to say a giant thank you to all of you who have pre-ordered my new book, Awakening Astrology. You can still pre-order it and get the free companion worksheet as well as the Zoom workshop that I did for you. And these are both tools to help you see some new things in your astrology chart. So that companion worksheet brings up some important questions and things to ponder. And then the workshop is designed to just guide you through some things as I talk through all 5 of the personal planets and more of what their energy can represent as well as reveal to you. So please check that out. And my book does come out May 24th. It's already been a bestseller on Amazon, and I'm just so delighted that I can offer you new ways of understanding your energy through this amazing world of astrology. So I wish you an empowering Scorpio lunar eclipse, and keep that in mind that the universe is working with you to help you power up, to help you go to new places and new experiences of yourself, of your energy, of your life that you're ready for. And this can also show you your own letting go process, your own ability to deal with change or with deeper transformation. And perhaps that's also one of the gifts here that's wrapped up in all of this, is that you can see more about how you handle these energies and perhaps get some new revelations around what you want to evolve in yourself that allows you to be more in touch with your sense of power, your light, and your beautiful energy in this lifetime. As always, I will be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast episode, and I am releasing new videos for you on YouTube every Friday. I've been releasing a series every Friday about the rising self-awareness in different parts of your astrology chart. I've released one on the cardinal signs. I've released one on the fixed signs. On Friday, it will be the mutable signs. And I have even more coming out for you that's in my back pocket here that will be revealed later in May and into June. So as always, thank you so much for your time, energy, and presence. I look forward to connecting with you online soon, and I wish you a beautiful, empowering week ahead.